Why did you do your wristing?
Crash.
A what?
Crash. Had a crash.
You had a crash?
Yeah.
That sounds like a story we've not explored.
Not much to it. I just went on a free, sort of rally day. Got in this car. I'd been working all night, right, so I wasn't the best condition to be whizzing around a track in a car.
Sure.
Like a Formula 1 type car.
Yeah.
Span out of control, hit some mud, smashed it all in, wrote it off, and I didn't realise I'd done a load of damage until...
Well, you landed on your head, but you were fine.
Yeah.
Who's the winner?
Mike Godley. Bad time from the Jayhawks on XFM 104.9. Ski Merchant, Ricky Gervais, Karl.
We're having a good time.
We are indeed.
Alright. Yeah. Karl, what you got lined up for us now?
Right, well, you've got a choice.
Nearly dead?
You can have a bit of educating.
Yeah, let's have educating, come on.
Educating, Ricky. Can we just clarify what this is? I think a lot of new listeners perhaps aren't familiar with this.
It's when Karl looks on the internet and finds a weird story about, you know, the double knob, fun, and tells me about it, and it's usually not true.
Okay.
If it is true, I know it already. Go on then, Karl.
They're not really weird stuff, it's just stuff that's gone on. That's interested me, that's all it's about, and I educate about it.
I should just confirm that we've had a number of emails that say the baby born without a knob, and then having one transplanted from a baby that luckily enough had two knobs, is apparently true.
Listen,
So,
I don't question that you could be born with a deformity and get someone's, you know, fingers, knobs, what I'm saying is, it didn't happen with the doctor goes, I'll leave with it. I don't believe it, that baby's got two knobs.
Exactly.
What a coincidence. I bet that little bit of information isn't in there, is it?
Sure.
That he went out the door, I'm gonna get a coffee, came back, bloody hell, hold on, look, there's an extra knob, I found an extra knob. We can put that knob on there. Perfect.
right, well you've opted for the headline, It Nearly Died. Right?
Yeah.
It's about this elephant.
Yeah.
80 years old. In Africa. Right? It's had quite a good life and that. But then what happens is, I don't know what it's been eating, but, its teeth fall out.
Yeah, that's what most elephants die of that, because they grind them down, the teeth, until they can't chew anymore, and most elephants of dying of old age with an elephant is the fact that you haven't got teeth anymore.
Well, it's had a good innings, it was 80.
Yeah.
Right? So anyway.
They used to pop the food up and feed it to it, and it lived quite happily?
No, what they did was, the village got together, said,
chew the food for
that's sad, isn't it? Made it some false teeth. Made it some teeth. Out of wood. Wooden teeth. For this elephant, that's 80. What do you think of that?
I don't know. I don't know if it's true, I don't know, I mean...
No, it is, forget that, you've been proved wrong once. It is true. What do you think about that?
Oh, Karl, it's like saying, yeah, my Auntie Nora saw a ghost, what do you think about that? There's no comment. I can't comment on it.
Would you have gone to the trouble, is what I'm saying?
To build an elephant some teeth?
It's 80.
Yeah.
With all the problems Africa's got and that, and they're messing about making teeth for an elephant.
What problems has Africa got?
Well, there's not enough food to go round, so if an elephant's dead, that's a bit more food left. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're assuming this is in the middle of a village where there was famine and starvation. It might have been South Africa, Kenya, you don't know, it's not all Ethiopia,
If it was a busy city, people in the village wouldn't have time to be messing about with making teeth and that, would they? It was a little village. Little village.
Yeah.
And the local elephant.
The local elephant? Like a local post office? I'll meet you by the elephant.
No, to be fair, Rick, I think I saw Bob Geldof on TV saying, please, people, stop making elephants' teeth. They are eating all the food, we're sending it over there.
F the number, where's the teeth? I don't know, it's possible. I mean, it's possible. It's possible that they've made this elephant some dentures. It is possible.
Wouldn't it have been easier to just...
pulp it.
Exactly. Mash it up, serve it some soup or whatever.
Yeah, I think if you're making its teeth, you know, it's really, so I'd have thought, you know, I wouldn't have thought it would work for very long, and I wouldn't have thought the elephant would understand that it was teeth, so I wouldn't have been able to thought that the villagers could do it. I mean, top veterinary surgeons could have done something, but I think they made it all goodwill, but I don't want to thought it worked, so they probably end up dying or pulping it like I suggested. But, you know, thanks very much, play a record.
No, but didn't you say something about wooden teeth? Someone, you know, had wooden teeth.
I don't know, I think that was possibly my grandparents.
They had wooden teeth.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it was wooden, I think the palate was wood, and then the teeth were as you would normally.
That's like from the 16th century, though, isn't it?
Well, it was the 1940s.
They used to hammer them in without anaesthetic.
Really?
Yeah. Just put into the wouldn't. Oh God.
That's a rubbish time, isn't it? To live.
And under the people's teeth, over the dead people's teeth, you could replace it. Just bang it in for a while. Oh God, unbelievable. Oh dear. Play a record, Carl.
If you've had your teeth, if you've had teeth hammered into your gums.
Placebo, English Summer Rain on XFM 104.9. Right, okay, you got the final educating Ricky, Carl.
Get a load of this court case.
Yeah.
What happened was, right,
Allegedly.
Fella's in court for something that he shouldn't have done, right?
Yeah. You got all the detail then at your fingertips.
And the jury says, he's guilty, right? And the judge went, what, he's not guilty, off you go then, right? He misheard it. He couldn't do anything about it, because once the judge has sort of said, you're not guilty, off you go. Off you go, you can go home. And the jury were like, what are you doing? They said he's guilty. I was like...
What do you think of the Thorns album?
I'm quite a big fan, Rick. Yeah, I like that sort of alt country sound. I think
I know. I like compilation you made me. That was
that sort of thing.
really good. The Jayhawks. Thanks for that, by the way.
There was the hanging one, wasn't there? There was the hanging one that happened.
Are you still there?
What bands have you been checking out recently? Any new things?
Just exploring all kinds of stuff. Obviously, you know, I like dipping back into the old stuff. I'll tell you I've been appreciating a lot recently, Rick. Billy Bragg.
Oh, brilliant, yeah.
Great guy.
Isn't he playing
He's playing in March, yeah, you might want to try and
You heard about the hanging one when
What's this
the
stuff?
fellow was...
Sorry, mate, go on.
When the fellow was hung. He was hung, and,
So it was
He was hung by a rope.
So, isn't that... No, I think it wasn't he, a Chinese emperor? And wasn't he hung?
Yeah.
He was hung.
Some fella who'd done something, they hung him.
It's not a word anymore, he was hung.
Well, don't be doing that again, because you said squoze wasn't a word, and then I shown you a menu today that someone sent, and it said fresh orange.
Yeah.
Squoze.
In inverted commas, and next to it was the word colour, spelt C-O-L-O-R. So, presumably either the American menu, right, in which case, there's loads of American words that we don't use, or it's just a badly typed piece of work.
Anyway, there was a bloke that was hung.
He was hung and that, but he didn't die.
Hung on that, he was definitely a Chinese. Hung on that, yeah. I remember him now, yeah.
He didn't die, and they said, oh, just hang on a minute whilst we change the rope and that, and he stood there waiting, changed the rope. They, tried to, do it again, and, didn't work.
It didn't work, right.
So, they got another rope, right? Didn't work. And then they had to let him go, because it's like there's a well-known saying or something from this thing.
Yeah. Have you seen, do you like, Oh My Car's On by, Tim Burton's new single?
I don't know that I'm
That's brilliant. Can we play it a bit later? Yeah, can we play it? Let's play a record now, and, we'll, talk more a bit later.
Yeah. Hey, can you, Carl, would you shut up?
Oh My Car's On. Tim Burgess, brilliant. XFM 104.9. Right. Well, we're running out of time here.
Yeah.
We had Carl in a little film, but I think we've really got time for Monkey News, you know?
Yeah.
What are you thinking, Carl?
Yeah, if you want to do that.
Yeah, let's do Monkey News.
Alright.
Play the jingle.
Oh, chimpanzee that Monkey News.
Right, there's this monkey, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think his name was number 6 or number 7 or something, right, in this lab, right?
Yeah.
And, anyway, it's in there, with, like, the rabbits and little mice and stuff like that. And,
The rabbit smoking.
the nurse, right, not the nurse, the woman who works in the lab, what would you call her? Is it a nurse?
Depends what turns out her job was. If she was a lab assistant, you call her a lab assistant.
Right.
I mean, they probably call her by a name.
Alright, lab assistant, right?
Kirsty.
So she's...
I think it's probably Kirsty.
Right,
Kirsty Morris.
Well, she's in there, right?
Yeah.
And she don't work with many people and that. She's mainly on her own with, just putting lipstick on rabbits and stuff like that, right?
Chimpanzee it?
So,
chimpanzee. He's putting on lipstick chimpanzee. She's got hairy legs.
He gets pally, right, with this woman.
Yeah.
Because You know, it gets to a point when she sees him every day.
That's the way he tries to string out like it's a narrative love story. The chimp put his hand out and grabbed her, and then you're thinking he made a move on her.
So,
right, come on,
he's allowed out.
Oh, it's not a story, is it?
He's allowed out the cage and whatever, every day, so, he's wandering about, and as time goes on, he's watching what she's doing more and more, right? So, he notices, like, the code on the door, right? Whatever, 247 or whatever, he goes, right, I've clocked that, I'll remember that, right? And then he goes, right, there's a lot of lipstick and that knocking about, a lot of makeup.
Right, okay. No, there's no way. No! Because, Steve, you know what's gonna happen. I know what's gonna happen.
So he's there.
It's ridiculous.
And he's going, well, if it's there, you know what I mean? So while she's messing about with the rabbit, he gets there, he's in front of the mirror, putting a little bit of lippy on. Right?
No! It's gone too far! No, it's gone too far, Steve!
Your mic's off, Rick. He's finishing the story. Turn mine off as well.
It's looking pretty good.
I didn't mention the mascara!
It's looking alright, right? So it knows the code on the door, 247, right? So when she's sort of messing about with the rabbit, right, he goes, right? So it knows the code on the door, 247, right? So when she's sort of messing about with the rabbit, right, he goes, right, here's my chance. He's looking good. 247, out the door. Action man's there. He's like, alright, Kirsty. Right?
Don't talk shit!
I Feel Free from Cream, that's pretty much the last track, isn't it, guys? I imagine on XFM 104.9.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've got nothing to say after that. Ridiculous story. I mean, that's worse than the bank robbery to me.
Yeah.
That he clocks out. And the bloke on the desk. Alright, Kirsty. Oh, you're 2 foot shorter and hairy.
She wasn't a looker anyway.
She wasn't a looker anyway! Brilliant. Oh, play record and say true, yeah, we'll see you next week for the last time for a little while.
Adverts.
Oh, I'd love to end with adverts.
See you later, it's brilliant, going out on a bang.
I wonder if we should have a jingle for questions for Carl, because there's a lot of questions coming in for Carl.
Okay. Oh, chimpanzee, that question's for Carl.
Yeah, okay, no, fair enough, that works. This is from Jim and Bob in Manchester. Carl, if you could talk to any animal, which one would it be and what would you say to it?
Insect, animal, anything, fish, anything.
Well, they said animal, but let's broaden it to anything.
Animal,
any creature.
Insect is an animal.
Yeah, no, but I'm just, I don't want to get it wrong. I'm just thinking about, there's a lot of stuff out there, isn't there? I'd probably go for the tortoise.
Okay.
Because it would take a long time to walk away from you while you were talking.
No, just because...
Most animals would be off straight away.
Yeah.
Just because they live for ages, so they'll have loads of stories. They've lived through a lot. You know what I mean? Through wars and stuff.
Well,
you get an old one. If you get like an old one, that's about 100
most of them have lived in a box in a garden for 52 years.
No, but you get some that have been about. And even if it's in a box, you can overhear.
They've really travelled, have they?
Yeah.
I mean,
some of them have experienced more than you.
Yeah.
But they've broadened their horizons a bit more than you. They could probably teach you a thing or two, yeah.
And what would you hope to learn from them?
Just history.
Right. From their very specific tortoise perspective. Other emails. We've had a lot of questions about time travel. People are fascinated about your approach to time travel. And I know we've talked about this in the past, but this is a very specific time travel question. If you had a time machine, Carl, to what event in your childhood would you travel back to and why?
What's the point in going back to things that you thought... No, it's just that it's never as good, is it? It's like a place you go on holiday and you go back thinking it'll be as good as the first time. It never is. So I don't believe in going back to places.
What do you understand the question as? Do you think they're asking, would you go back like a ghost and spy? Would you go back and you've got your childhood back? You are that child again. You're in the body. You are the child, or you've got your adult head and experiences.
Rick, I really don't think Carl was thinking there was any of those variations. Let's be honest. But now that you've flagged them up,
I think he was thinking of him as he is now in school with a cap on.
yeah.
But
too big for the chairs.
yeah. Come on.
No, I don't think I would go back. It's all happened now, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's an email for our own amusement.
Well, okay.
Choose an event. Okay, forget the time travel thing.
No, hang on. I think let's clarify one of Ricky's points. What if you could go back and you could live that moment again? How would you do it differently?
there's been times where I've gone, oh, that was a bit out of order or whatever. But then you learn from your mistakes, don't you? So I don't want to go back and change stuff, because it's like that thing that they go on about, innit, where they blame the butterfly on an earthquake. You know, it's going to happen. If it wasn't that butterfly, it's another one. So why pass the buck, is what I'm saying.
So you've got no regrets. There's nothing in your past you'd want to change or do differently?
What about if you went back and you spied like a ghost on something? You couldn't change anything, but you could have a look at someone and just sort of look like
what?
like Ebenezer Scrooge does at the Ghost of Christmas Past. He goes back and he's sort of like looking at himself dancing and stuff. What would you do? What would you go back and have a look at?
Yeah, but you're asking me to change. I don't want to change.
Yes, you're not changing, you're just observing.
It's impossible.
All right, I tell
this
you what.
question, it's not going to happen. You're not going to have to do this. It's impossible.
Right, yeah, I nearly died once, didn't I, on an ice pop.
Right.
Right? Now, maybe if I would have died, I'd say, well, let's go back to that, and I won't have an ice pop.
You wouldn't be doing the podcast if you'd have died. You wouldn't be having this email put to you. What are you
That's
talking
absurd.
about?
You're now saying you're rewriting history and then going back to change it.
Yeah.
There's no need. You didn't
die. And we've changed it. You can't change anything. You're just going to go back and watch them. Would you like to go back and watch yourself choking on a Mr. Freeze?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's why I wouldn't go back now, because I'm all right. I haven't had one since. I've learnt a lesson. I'm not missing them ice pops. So
I don't think you're making the most of this opportunity to fantasise.
I don't see the point in going back in anything. I mean, do you mean go back in time to the point of you can see, like, Rome in its working day?
What, in your childhood? Was Rome about when in your childhood? Were there gladiators
Well,
in your
that's what I'm
childhood?
saying. Everything I've been through, so why see it again?
Forget it. It was just a nice little question.
I mean, that shows the lack of imagination
Right,
in Karl
all right.
Pilkington.
Can
Your
I-
mind can't
all right,
fathom
what-
something unless it's, like, you know, got two heads.
But I don't see the point in doing something twice. Because the thing is, say if there's one good moment when I was about 6 that I loved, I'd then have to go through all the other 20 years again.
Well, why? Why have you imposed that? It's a fantasy. Make up.
You could
Just
go
say-
back and come back
Yeah,
again.
whiz back and fast forward 35 years.
Nah.
Brilliant. No. Like it was on offer. Like this was really on offer. Move on.
Migrant workers in South China are wearing adult diapers on packed trains heading home for the New Year holiday because they've got no access to the toilet. Many supermarkets in this particular part of China have reported a 50% increase in sales of adult nappies for the train trips. Now, what do you make of that, Carl? You're on a long, long train journey, 3 hours, 4 hours.
You know there's no toilet. You know you're going to need to go. Pop on a...
Why isn't there any toilets?
They just aren't on the trains.
And they're a really long journey.
Yeah.
How long?
Hours.
Very long in China. It's a big country.
I wouldn't. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do it. I'd have to hold it in or something. Just like, I mean, when I was a young kid, I don't know how young you are when you wear a nappy and that, but I remember that I didn't like it doing it in a pair of pants like that, a pair of nappies and that. And I used to have to, even when I was too small to sort of get up on the toilet and that, because you'd fall in. My mum knew that I didn't like nappies and that. I used to just go in the corner, just near the kitchen, in this thing that, like a litter tray. And I'd go there, and I'd do my thing. And, you know, my mum used to say, oh, he's going there, don't look at him and that, because it put me off. You know, like cats don't like being watched when they do it.
When they go in their little tray in the kitchen.
No, they don't like it. I
Look,
tested it
what
again.
are you, just like a little feral kid, just running around and going to the litter tray, covering it up, and then running up the curtain and eating a sweet at the top of the pelmet?
No, but nobody likes being watched, and that's what I'm saying. If you're sat on a train and you're knocking one out and that, and everyone's looking at you, I don't think it'll catch on.
Well, it has caught on.
Has it
They're all
caught,
doing it.
honestly?
They're just sitting there. They're doing, you know, they're reading the paper, doing Sudoku, and they're looking round when they're going. They're thinking, oh, no one knows I'm going. Everyone's thinking that, and everyone's going.
I mean, what are we getting to? You know what I mean? What's going on in the world that this is happening?
I know.
I mean, people have always had to travel for ages. I just don't understand why there isn't a toilet on it. We're going backwards. We're going backwards, aren't we? Why isn't there a toilet on it?
Well, maybe there is, but maybe people are thinking the queue is going to take forever. If you've got 125 million people
Yeah, but
going
not
back.
everybody wants to go at once. I mean, I know Chinese and all that are at the forefront of everything that goes on in the world, inventing stuff first, but this isn't one of the best that they've come up with.
What have they invented then? The Chinese just
Loads of stuff, haven't they?
Yeah, well,
Loads
I
of stuff.
was going to ask you. You seemed quite educated on the subject. What?
They did them cat mop things that I told you about.
Brilliant.
I mean,
This was where you put mops on the feet of cats, was that right?
Yeah. And they
Brilliant.
wander about the house, clean up and that, wash the floor for you whilst they're pottering about. They've done like hats with umbrellas on them. They've done. I mean, they're known for like coming up with stuff first.
Yeah, I mean, my first thought was gunpowder, but yeah, cats with mops is good as well. Well, now to one of our most popular features. I mean, this could even rival monkey news one day. It is monkey news. It's it's news from the point of view of a monkey, a shaved monkey. It's Karl Pilkington's diary. Oh, he's written it down, yeah.
Was that the jingle, or were you just just annoyed about something? Okay. Went and did the podcast. We had a meeting after. I don't like meetings as I can't keep focused on what people are talking about. I think Ricky has the same problem as after 25 minutes he was trying to wrestle me. I tried to do what spiders do and stayed still as if I was dead. But Ricky just stayed on top of me, not moving. A bit like when you see one of them big snakes swallowing a sheep. Ricky got bored and released me. I went home thinking, why had I left my old job for this? A homeless man asked me for some money, but I didn't feel like I should treat him as I felt that he'd probably had a better day than me.
Oh, God.
Suzanne called me to say she'd gone for a haircut and that she'd meet me in the supermarket. I went to the supermarket, but she wasn't there. I called her and she said she was near the fruit aisle. I went to the fruit aisle and she wasn't there. Turns out she was in a different supermarket on the other side of town. And that if I'd listened to her properly, I'd have known that. I didn't want to say that
Well, you just went to the first supermarket you thought of, as opposed to listening to what supermarket. I'm in the supermarket. All right, bye.
I didn't want to say that I hadn't heard her properly because my ears were ringing a bit from the wrestling from earlier. 25 minutes later, I met up with Suzanne. Her haircut wasn't that bad. Normally, her haircuts are followed by an argument between us as she pays over the odds for some daft haircut that's the latest style.
Brilliant.
I wish she'd take a picture out of a magazine or ask for a style rather than letting the hairdresser do what she wants. I said I only tell her to do this as she's got a square head and a close-cut hairdo makes it look squarer. She said, what do you think of this cut? I said it looked alright, as I couldn't be bothered arguing about it. It's weird writing a diary. I don't know who thought of doing one of these first. The last time I did one was at school. They used to get you to do it so they could keep an eye on whatever you were up to. My diary used to say the same thing every night. Got home, went to the shop to get potatoes, bread, milk. Went home, watched telly, went to bed. I think I might have gone to Twiggy's Dance Club just so I had something different to write. You've not told us about Twiggy's Dance Club.
It's just, you know, I sort of, when I was a kid, I sort of gave everything a bit of a go. I did boxing and that, didn't I? Gave that a go.
For about 45 minutes.
And yeah, a mate sort of said, "Oh, you know, you're into your dancing, your robotics and that. You're doing your body popping, right? Body popping and that." He said, "You ought to come to Twiggy's," and I went there, but I didn't go in. It was shut. They were just having like loads of toilet rolls delivered. I think like they were like using it as a storage place for toilet rolls and that. So I said, "Oh, I've come to have a dance," and like, "Oh, not tonight. Come back tomorrow." I never went back.
Brilliant. Next. What a waste of an anecdote. Right. Brilliant.
Okay.
So which of these are you choosing?
I'll have the. Is that important?
What you want? You want to do it now? I was just gonna leave it.
Come on. Let's give it this one now. Yeah, come on. It's
right.
Christmas Eve. Open one. Come on.
You know, I don't like anteaters.
Why?
Okay, so I should just point out to people that as far as Karl is convinced, the stories that he's about to relate are absolutely 100% true.
Yeah.
You be the judge of whether
He's seen them on the internet. Of course they're true. Go on.
Anteaters, yeah.
Why don't you like them?
I've told you before, I just don't sort of. It annoys me that an animal's named after what it eats. You don't need
Yeah,
it.
but it didn't choose it, did it?
Yeah, but if there's nothing else that it can be called, it's like, oh, what's it do? I don't know. What's it eating? It's eating ants, right? Let's call it an anteater. It's not good enough.
But why are you annoyed at it though? For someone else calling it being lazy?
Because it obviously doesn't do anything else. Do you know what I mean?
But what do you want it called? The Chartered Surveyor?
Well, whatever, just a proper name.
What's the proper name?
Well, I'm just saying.
But tell me an animal that's a proper name to you.
A beaver. That's pretty good.
Why is that a proper name?
It doesn't matter anyway. I don't understand what they're about.
You and Anteaters have got issues.
Okay. Sometimes I genuinely don't understand what his thought processes are. Go on. Right, okay, you don't like anteaters because they just eat ants and that's what they're named after. Go on.
Right. Do you know that an anteater can stick its tongue in and out 160 times in a minute?
No, didn't know that.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, it's rubbish.
Thanks.
No, but do you think that's good?
I don't know
What do you mean? Shall I call Norris McWhirter? What do you mean, do I think that's good? What, compared to what?
You see, I read it and thought, so what? So it's interesting.
Well, we think so what as well.
So you still put it down as something interesting to tell me?
No, but it's the fact that that is meant to be amazing. I did
Who's claiming it's
148.
amazing?
I did 148 last night in a minute, right?
God! Oh! Well, hold on. There's my nipple. How many could you do if it meant you had to touch my nipple at the end? £2,000. Baby Bear on XFM 104.9. We do talk twaddle.
Oh, God.
I mean, I don't know why we haven't got complaints. We haven't got any complaints, have we?
No listeners.
We've had one.
No one listening.
No, it must be that, because Kilroy, he's probably got a big show, and it's all over the place,
Yeah.
but, you know, mind you, you know, I'd be annoyed if he'd have said that about me.
Yeah.
But he's got to be careful who he annoys, because he will end up having to move him with Salmon Rushdie. Do you know what I mean?
Is Salmon, is he still on the run?
No, he's out.
They've
I've
forgiven him,
seen him twice. I think he's out all the time now. I bet his flat's a pigsty.
Sure.
It was not neat when he was living with 400 CIA people and a couple of...
You
policemen.
remember he went into hiding, I think it was mid-80s, I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, something like
He went into hiding, he was in there, he was hiding, basically, surrounded by security guards, confined to his flat for about 10 years or something.
I'd have thought so, yeah.
Have you ever seen a picture of his missus?
Yeah, are you annoyed?
Well, I mean, man alive, she's like I think she's like a former Miss India or something. Stunning.
Yeah.
Have you seen a picture of him? I mean, he might be a great man and a talented writer and an intellectual fella, but, Jesus. Do something with the beard.
Well, yeah, but he's busy, isn't he?
What?
He's busy writing
How
stuff.
did he pull her? When he was just basically in there? In his flat?
I don't know. Internet.
Possibly.
Just got to know him, and then she kept saying, send a picture. He goes, no, I'm not sending a picture, come round.
Yeah. Read some of the books, they're brilliant.
They're brilliant. She goes, well, yeah, now I'm in love with you. Let's have a look. Alright, well, I'm in love with you now, so...
Yeah. You know, he's going, got my own place.
Got my own place, yeah. I got a few staff.
Yeah,
There's a few other people hanging around.
Exactly.
Don't worry about
You
it.
know, I'm in a lot.
I'll tell you something else that'll annoy you.
Yeah.
Stephen Hawking, not only married, but dumped her for his, nurse.
Extraordinary, isn't it?
So he's pulling birds left, right and centre.
Well, you know, it's true that I mean, not so much now, but years ago I was not the ladies' man.
But you are now.
really.
You weren't sort of suave and sophisticated. You
No,
weren't,
no, exactly.
you weren't the James Bond type that you've,
I wasn't
Well,
the James Bond of TV comedy.
because
the way
I
am
remember
now.
Carl, when you first met him about 3 years ago, what did you think?
Just a bit odd.
I love it.
And that's coming from him.
I know. Yeah.
But I'll tell you what used to really annoy me, talking of, do you remember there was that story, I think it was a world record-breaking attempt, there was a bloke, I think it was up in a car park, in a pub car park, in sort of Leeds or something.
No, Mansfield. It was the car park in Mansfield, and he broke the record for being buried alive.
Being buried alive.
I mean, and he was literally in a casket, like, not David Blaine, out in the lovely
Yeah.
sunshine with loads of Jonathan Ross waving to you.
Yeah.
No, none of that. Paul McCartney calling you a...
stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I mean? He was buried alive, in the dark, with just a tube
Yeah.
for communication.
I think he was buried
down,
about, he's buried about 10 feet underground.
Yeah.
There's a tube which people would communicate and send
and
stuff
put
down.
water down and
And I remember reading the story, I was interested in it, I remember reading it, and there was one element of the story,
You would think it was a cheap holiday.
well,
You're not just paying those prices. 400 quid, host seasons, you're having a laugh. That's nothing. Mansfield car park.
and there was another one, it said in the news report, it said that while he was down in the ground, he began and ended a relationship with a woman. While he was down there, some fan who was a fan of what he was doing, he started communicating with her through the tube. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but they began a relationship and it ended. And I have to say, I remember thinking, you know, when you read that there's a man.
How did it end?
Well, I
why
have no
did you
idea.
go that this isn't working? Yeah, that's twice you've stood me up.
Yeah.
Well, I can't get out, can I?
But I remember thinking at the time, you know, I was I was not the sort of the ladies' man that I am now, I remember at the time reading it and thinking, there's a bloke, you know, he's pulling women 10 feet underground through a tube.
Through a tube.
I mean,
I'm out and about.
Yeah.
With some of the most expensive hair products on the market.
I've got to sit down and ask myself some very serious questions.
Oh dear.
Extraordinary. I don't know if he did the world record attempt. I don't know if he broke it. I don't know how that happened, but good luck to him. I don't know
What do you mean a hole though? Like what? A proper thing, or is he moving about? How big is it?
No, it was just that, I think it was just buried alive in a casket. I don't know. Just down there. Probably down on his back, maybe. Just waiting for little bits of water.
But could he get out if he wanted to?
Well, yeah, he could say, can you get me out? He couldn't just leave and then come back. There was people...
So someone's there, then?
No, they buried him and said, well, we better go back in a couple of weeks, see how he's doing. What do you mean, someone's there? Of course there's someone there. Norris McWhirter, for one, I'd imagine, going, 3 days. Just a few more to go.
And why
Is it Norris or... Who's alive, Ross or Norris?
I think it's Norris.
Right,
You're thinking of, yeah. What's
It
that?
annoys me a bit, all this sort of, you know, getting in a hole and in a box and all that, and people going, oh, that's good. I mean, if he was doing something when he was down there, making something or whatever, you'd go, that's quite clever, but I don't understand all the fuss about... I don't know, people are just making a fuss about things that aren't that clever these days. It's just... You know what I mean?
I don't reckon he beat Anne Frank's record.
No, I think she's got the record.
I know, yeah, and she did something, she wrote a book.
gets
So
it,
you must think that she's pretty good then.
Yeah, but at least she did something.
Yeah, I know, yeah. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean. There's some fuss, about a woman who's going up Everest on a bike, right? Someone's walked it. That's harder than going on a bike.
No, it's not.
Of course it is.
Of course it's not.
Of course it is.
Not
Walking's
uphill.
better than... Riding about on a bike's better than walking everywhere.
Yeah, but not uphill.
Well...
No? Don't agree with me. Why do people get off their bike and walk it up a hill?
They don't always, that's the people...
No, but why do they? When people are going up a hill on a bike, but they get off and push the bike...
Just saying.
No, why is that?
Doesn't matter.
Do you think it's because it's harder? They go, I'll tell you what, this would be a lot easier on the bike, but I'll tell you what, I want a bit of a challenge. I'll get up and walk up this hill. You dopey.
Go along then, clap for her and that. You know what I mean? When someone's doing a London Marathon in a car, you can go and clap them, because that's just the same as far as I'm concerned. It's not hard.
Play a record. So Alive, Ryan Adams on XFM, 104.9, Ricky Gervais, Steve Merchant, Karl Pilkington, for the last time.
Well, you might do some other stuff later.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Music
yeah,
stuff.
for a little while at least.
Well, we won't be around for, foreseeable future. Better things to do, bigger fish to
Oh, well,
fry.
you got your music show that you'll do, like, sure we good.
The other radio stations are more interesting.
I think we've just got enough energy there for the last 35 minutes.
Yeah.
We've given them a lot, Steve.
We've given them a lot.
We've come in here, week in, week out, every Saturday. Never late.
We've always given them, 30%. We've really pulled that. We've got 30%
Yeah.
of energy.